Senator Daines.
Chairman Manchin, thank you. To start, I'd like to extend a warm invitation to all of you, if confirmed, to come out to Montana to see firsthand the impact of decisions that are made here in Washington, how it affects rural states like Montana. These decisions include the continued ban of oil and gas lease sales in Montana, which is something I'm very concerned about. Despite a federal judge telling the Biden administration to resume leasing, we are now 9 months into the year, and not one of the 4 required lease sales have commenced, not a single one. This is having a real and direct impact on Montana, on our jobs, our revenue for our communities and for our state. In fact, rural communities in Montana receive 50% of the revenue generated from federal oil and gas lease sales. So when this administration continues to skirt the law, it means that Montana schools, our teachers, our communities receive less money, and that is unacceptable. Ms. Daniel Davis, I know that you had a direct role in the leasing moratorium, and I hope you'll resume leasing as is required by law immediately. With that said, I want to move on to another important issue for the country, and that's domestic critical mineral production. Ms. Daniel Davis, the Biden administration has a goal to move the U.S. to all carbon-free electricity by 2035. Yet despite this, President Biden and our House Democrats have taken every step they can to make it harder to domestically produce the raw materials needed to build new energy and storage solutions. As you know, batteries, turbines, solar cells take huge amounts of critical minerals and materials. But in this current tax and spend bill being written in the House, there's dozens of provisions that would halt current and future domestic mining, meaning we'll be dependent on countries like China for the vast majority of the materials we need to build new energy sources. These anti-mining policies, they kill jobs in Montana, and they will further intensify the growing national security threat posed by our import dependence for these critical minerals. My question is this, if confirmed, what steps will you take to increase domestic production of critical minerals to meet the demand for this new renewable energy?
Senator, thank you so much for that question. It's nice to see you. The president has made it clear to all of us that critical minerals development and production is a priority for the country. There were, I'm sure you saw a sort of a series of reports that were released earlier in the summer that went to this point. I want to say how much I appreciate the support this committee provided in the bipartisan infrastructure bill for critical minerals related activities, research, and likewise at our own USGS, which would not be under this position, but it will be very important to helping us do a better job.
Let me ask a specific question on that. What is the administration doing then to try to bring some sense to what's going on in the House at the moment with all these provisions that would do exactly opposite what you just talked about?
So I do know with the reconciliation bill that it's a process that's ongoing. There are a lot of ideas being put forward with regard to reform. I know the administration looks forward to continuing. This is an ongoing process.
But you said they are doing all they can, and yet where's the administration at now? We need them to rein in these very radical provisions that are being promoted by the House Democrats.
So, Senator, all I can do is reconfirm to you that the critical minerals issue is a priority for me and that I do work directly with the BLM offices and the BLM leadership to be sure we understand what's coming in the door and how we can responsibly manage that permitting.
No, and I appreciate your voice there. Do you think the United States should rely on China? I think China becomes the new OPEC, if you will, relates to critical minerals and that important supply chain. These are countries that have terrible environmental standards, terrible labor standards, or do you think the U.S. should be the global leaders in critical mineral mining and production?
I believe that's the president's position, and I do support and appreciate that he's prioritized that for me and other appointees. And should I be confirmed, I commit to you I'll continue to work on this
Thank
issue.
you. Appreciate that. In the time I have left, I want to talk about what President Biden has done, where he issued a proclamation calling for increased utilization of the Wilderness Act. Ms. Daniel Davis, he did this at a time when catastrophic wildfires were threatening populations across the West. He did this under the guise of the 30 by 30 initiative. I'm advocating that we refocus this initiative on pursuing healthy landscapes, not ambiguous land statutes. Ms. Daniel Davis, why would the administration call for an increased use of the Wilderness Act, something that's under the sole jurisdiction of Congress, as part of the 30 by 30 initiative? And should we expect this to be the direction of the administration as they pursue this initiative?
Senator, thanks so much for that question. And I just want to pick up something that you said and say that the healthy forests and healthy lands is my priority and would continue to be my priority if I'm confirmed. As far as the 30 by 30 or America the Beautiful initiative, it's really meant to be inclusive, and it's not all about federal lands. It's about tribal conservation interests and state and local interests. But I really want to reiterate to you with regard to wildfires and land and forest help. I think that's important to prioritize. I appreciate the work you did on the fire fix a few years ago. It has made the BLM and the Forest Service, as far as I'm told, are able to much better prioritize appropriate treatments and management of those lands.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.